So the most exciting thing, I think, for the Science North team is that we were able to open our Climate Quest in Montreal at the home of our very good friends at the Montreal Science Centre. Montreal Science Centre is one of Canada's largest science centres, and they're bilingual. So as French colleagues, it was really important that we open this fully bilingual traveling exhibition in Montreal. And of course, COP15 biodiversity is happening as we speak. And our Climate Quest is all about the impacts of a changing climate, especially on biodiversity.
This exhibit is free for everyone across Canada thanks to a credible grant by Environment and Climate Change Canada. They provided us with funding support so that we are able to offer this exhibit not only free to host attractions, but also to any visitor who wants to visit those attractions and learn more about how they can take action against climate change. There are two versions of this traveling exhibit that are going to be making their way across Canada between now and the end of 2025. We're currently standing in the large Our Climate Quest exhibition here in the Montreal Science Centre, and that's going to be making its way to all of the big urban centres across Canada over the next few years. There's also a smaller version of this exhibition that is making its way to a lot of rural, remote, and smaller community centres, so that way no matter where you are in Canada, you're going to have a chance to see this exhibit for free.
So our Climate Quest comes at the perfect time because Canada as a country is working to reach net zero carbon by the year 2050. And this exhibition shows us so many different ways, big and small, that we can help Canada reach that goal, whether it's taking small actions in our own homes or larger actions as part of the communities.
I'll tell you that personally, one of my favorite parts is related to the choices that we make in the things that we purchase, whether it's the food that we order at a restaurant or the clothing choices that we make. So I have two children that are young adults, and the choices that they are making in the clothing that they wear, especially around fast fashion and a constantly changing palette of what they're wearing, is changing. And so paying attention to the choices that we make for reusable and renewable clothing, I think is one of the areas that it's an easy thing that we can all do. It's right there. We have a control of that, and it's really impactful.
This is my favorite exhibit, first and foremost because it's fun and because you can compete with your friends. But at the same time, you're learning about how human activities can create a lot of carbon and release it into the atmosphere, and just how much work different carbon sinks, natural carbon sinks like forests, have to do to capture that carbon and bring it back into the soil.
So this is the Climate Action Barn. It is a fantastic multimedia object theater. So it's got sound and film and all these stories from different climate change makers across Canada sharing stories about what they do in their communities. This is a version of something that actually exists at our Science Centre in Sudbury, and we love the experience so much and think it's such a valuable teaching tool and shares so much cool climate action information that we recreated it as part of this exhibition so that everyone across Canada can see it. Great thing about the Climate Action Show is that it gives you the opportunity to commit yourself to making real climate action. So you can actually sign up to become a part of our Change Agent Network. These are people all across Canada who have made a commitment to taking climate action, and they can track their progress through this Change Agent Network portal, and people can see the kind of effort that people are taking all across the country to make change in their communities.
Now, our Climate Quest, Small Steps to Big Change, is about all aspects of a changing climate, but especially the actions that each of us can take and will take to bring ourselves to net zero. Net zero by 2050 is a national challenge, and it's one that we're really excited to have taken up the charge on, along with our visitors and our audiences across Canada.